textile industry, which decreased job rates, such as the Pantex factory in Pekalongan, which is closed after 33 years of operation, and almost 40,000 workers in Central Java were laid off. Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever gone to the traffic lights and seen so many youngsters sitting there, trying to look pretty, maybe faking eaters and trying to get a painted box from you? Is that the youth that will lead our world? Good morning, all the honorable judges and audiences. My name is Chelsea Purnomo. I come from a city located in Central Java, which is known for batik and was named as the World Creative City by UNESCO. Yes, Pekalongan City. The Central Java Central Statistic Agency noted that in 2024, 36.71% of the population of Pekalongan City still categorized as less welfare. Hence, how can we survive to compete in this tight economic competition? And as young thinkers, I will invite you to analyze what possibly causes this poverty. And I will summarize two things. First of all, job availability. In order to earn money, either we have to work and get our salary, or we create our own jobs. We create our own company. But there are two important things that you need to highlight here. A, limited job rates. In Pekalongan, we actually have a lot of compatible natural and industrial resources such as batik, fishery, even culinary. But because we cannot manage it well, we cannot compete with the competitor. But B, low societal skill. A low level of education will affect how people think, act, and react. Not only in terms of academics, but also with their soft skills. Imagine when you don't have this kind of soft skills like communication skills, leadership, etc. You will most likely become useless in society. Or even when you are working, you will get like the minimum salary. But let's talk about the second one. Lifestyle. Who wants this money? But who needs this money? There's a difference when we talk about want and need. And this is called an individual, lifestyle, and priority scale. As youngsters, sometimes we feel FOMO or fear of missing out because we're easily swayed by the new trends and newly released products, right? And this is called consumerism. Sadly, the excellent target for reaching a diverse consumer base is developing country, one of which is Indonesia. For example, I want everybody to raise your smartphone up. Yeah, don't you realize Sony, Nokia, and BlackBerry contain tin mining from Bangka Island, Indonesia, which is the first top tin producer in ASEAN and third in global. But unfortunately, we still buy imported electronic devices from Taiwan, from the US, and etc. And we also still imported rice and vegetables from India, Vietnam, and China. Well, we actually have our own competent land and temperature. It proves that if Indonesia have a better human resources and better management, we're going to be able to compete in this tight economic competition. But also, according to the Central Java Statistic Agency, 7.20 million people in Indonesia still unemployed. And one of the reasons is because their individual incentive to work. This is unbelievable, but let me tell you, once upon a time, I watched a YouTube video called The Paradox of Poverty, and it explains on how people deliberately choose to be unemployed and getting subsidies from the government, like getting rice, getting oil, etc. Rather than they're working with their own skills, with their own energy, because they compare the income and the expenses. This type of mindset will make them become totally reliant to the government and trapped in a cycle of poverty. Now, simple questions for the millennial generation. Are you ready to hand over the future of Indonesia to the younger generation? Youth are actually unique. They are easy to adapt and also aware of technology and social media. And they're willing to take risks. But have you ever thought what possibly will happen if youth don't have something productive to do? They will most likely play games or buying cigarettes, even drinking and gambling. And these type of activities will most likely become their habits and make them addicted, which will increase the possibility of criminality such as stealing, sexual abusing, also killing. And these are not the types of youngsters that we expected before, right? That's why we need to make sure they're on track. And ladies and gentlemen, in order to alleviate poverty, we have to fix the root of the problem. That's why I propose to raising society awareness and boosting youth skills. Because I understand that there is the incentive coming from the government to improve the education level, for example. But because there is no society awareness, they will just skip class, so far and so on. Besides, we also have Balai Latihan Kerja, the program from the government to equip youth with aptitudes. Although the program is free, some areas still charge registration fee. And also there's a selection process like interview, etc., which makes some of the youngsters maybe feel insecure, right? And the most problematic thing is that only a few people know and aware of the existence of this program. Therefore, we need to promote this program by creating videos, making contests, create trends, catching exposure, do socialization to catch exposure and attract trainees so that more people, more youngsters will join our program. And last but not least, we also have to encourage them to have a networking skills so that they can build a strong relationships with influential people in the industry so that they can open for partnerships and opportunities. Besides, we have to be adaptable to the rapidly changing and evolutionary world. In Society 5.0, we have to collaborate with AI to utilize big data and Internet of Things. Therefore, the innovation that I propose is creating a collaboration between the government, private sectors, and the youngsters by creating a website to find opportunities in Central Java. Well, what does it look like? This website will contain and provide data from startups, company, and many other job fields, within the current number of workers working there, what kind of workers qualification, and what supply do they need. Why is this beneficial? Three things. First of all, accessibility. Because it is really easy to just click on the website and we know that there are so many job fields happening there, we can understand what is the society demand right now. It's going to be easier for us to find jobs, right? But also secondly, mutualism. We can provide supply or we can provide products so that we can import from another city or another province, which we never know that they needed something before because we don't have the data. But right now, because we have the website, it is going to be easier for us to actually predict what is probably going to be needed in the next 10 years, for example. But thirdly, creating websites also means creating job fields. Because who will develop the website? Who will design the website? Who will analyze the data, and etc.? Imagine when we successfully develop this website, such as Nadiem Makarim, who developed Gojek to be a multi-billion-dollar company. It is going to be significantly impacted to the economy of Indonesia. However, we also need transparency and accountable governments, so that all the money allocated for alleviating poverty is going to be used wisely. For all the youngsters here, realize that we are the agent of change. We are the main character. But I'm not only calling for the youth, but I call for everyone to collaborate in contributing to alleviate poverty in our beloved country, Indonesia. Thank you.
Okay, hello, contestant number 20. Alright, so another speech to the topic of poverty. Yes, poverty is one of the biggest issues, and it has been a long experienced by people in Indonesia. I also wonder why we cannot alleviate this problem. And yes, you have provided us with some solutions. Okay, interestingly, and yeah, this is typical suggestion given by youth, and I mean, there is nothing wrong with using technology, alright? You mentioned in your speech that one of the things that can be done by youth to help government. I I underline that you want to help the government to alleviate the problem is by one of the things is by using social media. Is that right? Using
Yeah.
social media to promote the government's programs about, to alleviate or mitigate poverty. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Well, my question is that, in my opinion, so I want to know your argument about my opinion. In my opinion, well, that is a good way to do. But first, we have, do you think, in my opinion, using technology sometimes is not reachable by those who are considered as poor people, because poor people normally have less access to technology, to social media. So do you think this kind of solution that you provide us is effective? That's the first one. And number two, in relation to the less access of the poor people to social media or technology, don't you think that solution that you give us will help making a gap between those who are richer, who are already rich become richer, who are already talented, skillful, they can access the program and become richer, and those who are poor will be more getting poorer? Okay, I want to hear your argument about that.
Okay, thank you for the amazing questions. I'm going to answer the first one, which is what if this website and this kind of technology is not going to be accessible for the poor people? Here's the thing. We will operate the program within our teams, right? So that we have our own team provided by the government and also this collaboration between the private sectors and all of the youngsters. Because we already have the same vision to actually alleviate poverty, we're going to be able to campaign, we're going to be able to attract more people to join our program. Maybe some investor that will invest to our website, to our program, and etc. And therefore, within the teams, we're going to have somebody who will do the survey. For example, we go to Pekalongan City and then we can interview some of the people and ask for their willingness to actually aspire and willing to give the data of what supply they need, etc. And we can input the data from the survey itself to the website that we already created before. So that I think it is going to be more accessible because we have our team who will do like their own tests and etc. that will help these unreachable poor people, for example. But also the second one, is it going to be effective? I think yes, it is going to be effective because this website is going to be accessible by just clicking on the website. You're going to brought into a new page where you can put, where you can analyze the data, where you can read the data of maybe there is job vacancies in this or that company, so that you're going to be able to kind of finding jobs and etc. But also you're going to analyze the demand coming from society so that you can be one of the suppliers and etc. Right? So that it is going, even if the youngsters at the end of the day cannot provide and cannot be one of the suppliers, they can collaborate with the other youngsters so that they can work together and they can try to apply together, they can try to develop themselves and fit the qualification of the standard of the dream company, for example. But answering the second question, talking about the society gap between the poor and the rich people, I think in today's generation, this kind of gap is not going to be something significant anymore because the focus of the government and the focus of this program is to the youngsters who suffer from this poverty, right? So that the main actor that we are going to incentive, the main actor that we are going to empower is these youngsters who cannot have the privilege like the one who can go to the international schools, for example. So that's why I think this program is going to be useful because it is going to reach more people in their focus, in their target, which is the youngsters living under poverty. Thank you.
Back to her.
Yes, thank you.
Oke, kita beri applause.